Right, it looks like we've got basically all the functionality that we need because we're adding to our log label now. Let's just see how this looks on a real phone. So I'm going to go over here, and with a different device, I'm going to join the list, send that, and it should show up on our phone. And this one should show up too. All right, we get one phone join. Here's another. They both show up. Now I'm going to send a message that's going to be from phone number 1, and we'll say, hey, and just click send. See if it gets received up here. Okay, it was received. Look at that. And then it rebroadcast my message, hey, to one phone, to both phones. Looks like it works. If I go with the other one, say, hi there. From the other phone, let's see if it's going to broadcast that. Hi there was received. It was sent to both of them. Perfect. Okay. Looks like it's doing just what we want. But the problem is if we restart our phone, we're not going to notice, it's not going to have these numbers, right? And the reason is because they only live in the memory of when the phone is active. And if we go over and look at our page 183 of our textbook, it's going to tell us that we need to store the value. And it's really simple how we do this. What we're going to do is right in here, when we add the items to the list, we're just going to store them in TinyDB. So if we go TinyDB and we say store value, put it right here. And the value that we're going to store, obviously, is going to, well, it's obvious, should be obvious to us, it's obvious to me, is we want to store the broadcast list. Let's copy this one, put it here, and we'll store it, and then of course we need a tag. And this tag will be broadcast list. Now this is only going to live on my phone, so if I type in broadcast list, actually I'm going to type it all in caps, constant. So if I have this tag on my phone broadcast list, whatever numbers are on my device, that's going to be fine, and the same for you. So we're not going to stomp on each other because it's not on the web. It's on our local TinyDB. With TinyWebDB, you want to use something like your initials or some other magic number that would be special. And as you know, I have a preference for doing it like this, right? We have a variable, and we would call this tag underscore, I don't know, list. And then I would put this here, and then I'd use this guy to make sure we use exactly the same value, because on the screen initialize, if we go here, screen 1, initialize routine, we're going to need to use this value again. And on our book, on page 184, it's going to tell you that you need a couple of things. One of them is a variable, and the other is going to be an if condition. So we'll say if, put this in here, and we're going to say value from DB, so let's get this. Call this value, value from DB, and we'll just set it up to be an empty string to begin with. And then all we're going to do is we're going to set this. Because it's TinyWebDB or TinyDB, we'll get the value immediately. So we'll say get value. And what are we going to look for? Well, we're going to look for this one, right? Just the same as using this here, tag broadcast list. We're going to say tag. If we get this tag, we're going to put the value in here. And the value, we're just going to say, is it a list? So if we go list is a list. And what value? This one. So let's go and grab it. Value from DB. If it's a list, then what we want to do is we want to set the broadcast list to be this. So we say the broadcast list variable, which is here, set it. This value, we'll copy this. And then we want to display it, and we'll do that in the next screencast.